So it says, social justice activists say white people must skip Black Panther Wakanda Forever on opening weekend.
Let's just show this insane TikTok to everyone.
We're gonna,
and we can all just like let it sink in.
So it's we got it right here. I'm gonna skip through this because I don't know if that's copyrighted.
This message is to all our would-be accomplices and white allies. This message is to all the white people who have BLM in their bio. If you really want to prove to Black people that you love us and you care about us and you are down for the cause, do not go see that movie opening weekend. You buy your ticket, you give it to a Black person or a Black family who can't afford to go, and then you go sit at that theater in front of the doors. You make sure that every Black person in that theater can enjoy that movie in peace. You make sure that you use your body to block us from anybody who would be coming in that theater to do us harm. That is your job. You can go see it on another weekend. Go see it on the second or third weekend. But the first weekend, that's for us. To do anything other than this is anti-Black.
Just the gigantic SJW glasses say it all, don't they?
Originally, my question was, is this a joke? Because there was some stuff that came out about this when the first Black Panther came out.
It's such a messed up thing to joke about because, firstly, it implies that there are people plotting to
do them harm,
do mass murder at movie theaters because of Wakanda Forever, which is there's no evidence to support that, and I don't think that you should even like joke about that. Firstly, but secondly. You're telling paranoid people to go in front of movie theaters ready to get in confrontations with anyone that walks up they believe to look suspicious. And like thirdly, it's just like race relations aren't really something that you're supposed to joke about on TikTok anyway.
No. It's
like actually pretty serious to bring that subject up. So it's just I am leaning towards complete sincerity from this woman.
And the reason I even thought it could be fake is because some similar stuff came out when they were advertising the original Black Panther, that they were saying something similar. I thought maybe this person was playing was making a joke.
But it's like Dark Knight fear-mongering and then Joker 2019 fear-mongering, where they journalists want something cataclysmic to happen at one of these screenings, which shows how ghoulish they are.
Let's talk about journalists, because we have this here from so my original inclination is that was fake. It's TikTok. Anybody can make a TikTok. But we have blue check journalists. Scott Menzel says, I challenge all non-POC critics and journalists, big and small, to email their PR contacts and give up your seat to tonight's Wakanda Forever premiere or tomorrow's screening to a critic or entertainment journalist of color. Voices matter. Representation matter.
Tell me this is not a psyop to suppress the box office numbers of Wakanda Forever's opening weekend. You're literally telling the majority of people planning to see it to not go.
It's also extremely racist to assume that Black people are poor and can't afford to go to this movie, which was super unbelievably racist to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, imagine the reaction if you just walked up to a random Black person and were like, do you want my charity? Do you want my ticket to this movie? Because you can't afford it, clearly. Like, what?
Who is that woman, by the way?
It's just a random it's just an activist on TikTok. The reason I wanted to cover it was because of the journalist who also is parroting that belief. He also says, I already gave my seat away for tomorrow. My conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, is that he found out that the runtime was 2 hours and 40 minutes. And he's like, I want to go.
2 hours and 40 minutes is way too long. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're trying to make this into some kind of memorial for Chadwick Boseman. It can be a normal length.
He's like, I will read the cliff notes and I'll report on it later. I'm not going to this. It's 2 hours.
Well, it's people who have already been invited to early screenings.
Yes. Well, also they're saying that give your ticket away to a journalist of color. How is that person just going to get in? They're not just going to let a random person in. You have to have a name attached with your ticket because you come from a specific outlet. Remember, journalists are all picked beforehand. They're not going to let in people they have not vetted.
Well, they don't worry about calling for a gesture that's actually feasible to accomplish.
Not feasible.
They just want to scare people.
Yep.
And I'm worried about who is taking this message seriously, because you can't win with these people. If you don't go to the movie, then you're not supporting representation in cinema. And then if you do go, you're actively taking a seat away from someone who could be seeing it and feel represented. It's like you're the villain in this situation no matter what. And I think Wakanda Forever has had like some problems with its marketing that has sabotaged it from the very beginning, even though the original Black Panther movie was incredibly successful, and they didn't need to rely on this messaging to promote the sequel at all.
What was it? What did they do wrong?
Well, essentially the message is this movie is not for you, and then the proper way to respond to that is always wrong to someone.
Yeah.
Right?
There is no right answer.
Like, I saw these insane tweets about it from people saying, you know, just because this movie isn't about you doesn't mean that you need to criticize it. So someone responded to the trailer getting posted originally for Wakanda Forever saying, like, why should I care about this movie? And I'm sure it's just somebody who was dejected with all of the Marvel films. And that's why they said it. Not because they are like actually a hateful person.
Yeah.
And then someone replied, this movie is not for you, and that's okay. Not everything has to center around you. It's such a presumptuous thing to say. Like, did that person criticize it for not centering around them?
Well, also, that's a question you ask someone if you're actually asking them what is your pitch for this movie? What's the hook? What are you trying to do to get me to actively spend my hard-earned money to come out to the theater? Like, movies are extremely expensive these days. To go to a movie, if you're going to get popcorn, if you're going to get drinks, tickets, not at a matinee time, you're spending $50 to $60 minimum for like just yourself and one other person. More if you're going with a family. Hundreds of dollars get spent. You can't just market on guilt and divisive, weird, we should all be at different drinking fountains identity politics, which is what they want. I don't know where we go from this as a society if everything has to be judged on racial lines. It's kind of sickening.
Yeah. On the other hand, I saw a tweet reacting in the other extreme saying, because of the toxic racism of the Black Panther fan base towards white people, I'm boycotting Wakanda Forever. The MCU is not a place for you to exhibit or project your hate.
I don't even like that argument because it's one thing if the cast is doing that. The cast can't control how the fan base reacts.
Yeah, and I am sure that if the cast or people involved in the creation of this movie saw this insane TikTok, they would be like, please don't listen to this person. I want you to support what I just
come spend your money
put out there. Like, it's actively hurting the people who produced this movie to discourage people from seeing it on its opening weekend, because the opening weekend influences how the next weeks go.
Yeah, that's my first thought. As a producer, it's devastating to have your fan base come out and tell people not to go.
Yeah, well, one thing I've been pointing out lately is like critics might affect your opening weekend box office, but word of mouth is how you keep your drops from being super low. That's how you keep things going, right? Is with good word of mouth.
Now, if you know that Wakanda Forever is going to appeal to a certain part of your fan base because of representation, I understand that point. But also, there needs to also be an element of universality and relatability to the film for everyone who goes to see it.
Yeah.
And that's what the first one accomplished because they made so much money off of it.
Yeah.
You can't sabotage the sequel with this same tired marketing scheme that alienates people and divides them.
Movies and TV shows should be based around universal concepts and principles that can appeal to a much larger, maybe not for everyone, but for a larger group than subdivided into categories that you can't control, like your race, your gender, and your sexuality and stuff like that.
The snark is what gets me the most. Here's another tweet that said, a message to anyone complaining about Wakanda Forever. Not everything is made for you. You are selfish to think otherwise. The world does not revolve around you. There are people who connect to these stories and characters. Don't like it? Find the exit. And they were referring to The Little Mermaid as well. And it's really preempting so much hate and vitriol where it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone on social media after scouring through Twitter. I haven't seen anyone saying, I'm not going to see Wakanda Forever because it doesn't represent me as a white person.
Yeah. Well, and nobody should.
In fact, it's the exact opposite.
Nor it's like nobody should be saying that about anything. Like anybody of any race and gender should go see a Batman movie or any type of movie just because you want to go see the movie, not because of the people in the movie look like you.
And remember, like, the fear mongering that preceded the release of the 2019 Joker. Yeah. I think that ghoulish, twisted desire to see something go wrong and to see people actually fear for their lives in seeing a film that they like in theaters is like just so sickening and something only journalists will shamelessly put out into the ether.
Oh, the journalists are the evil people here. They are. The journalists are the one that are looking to divide everyone for clicks.
They don't care who sees it. They actually are rooting for someone to attack a theater showing this movie.
Yep. There's a movie about that called Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, and they were just, his job was to go around at night and find horrible car crashes and murders and deaths, and break the story. Yeah. Gets to the point where, spoiler alert, is that okay? Do you give spoilers?
You're good.
That he starts creating the conflict in the chaos so that he can get clicks on his stuff. It's a modern journalist nightmare.
It's like what's it called? Hero Homicide, with firefighters that start fires so that they can be the one to go in and save the day, right?
Yeah.
Like that's journalists like, well, there's nothing bad happening in the world. I wonder if I could make something bad happen in the world.
Journalists are literally the people shouting fire in a crowded theater.
I was like, I think this was last night before I fell asleep. I was thinking, what if I woke up tomorrow and everything was cool? Like, would people be cool with that if everything was fine?
I mean,
I look at Twitter and I think no.
I know it's almost like people are addicted to the chaos or the hate or it's not even chaos. It's the evil. It's like people are addicted to the evil, and without it, they feel lost or something. It's really starting to disconcert me.
Well,
they need an antagonist, so they'll create one if they have to.
Well, even people that just like overt drama all the time, like that's a personality type that will never make sense to me, because that type of stuff is really draining to me. Having to be interpersonally combative on a regular basis is not something that I would want to do. But there are some people who, I'm not talking about physically combative, I'm talking about psychologically, when you communicate with people. There are people that look for that type of drama in their lives, and it gives them fire, like it gives them energy to be like that. And I will never understand that mindset, but that's, you're never going to get a world where it's just cool all the time. Yeah, it would be nice.
I think it's a form of empowerment to battle conflict. And like that girl that was saying don't go see the movie was very much like, it was like a power creep. Like she was trying to seize power. Do this, and when you do it this way.
Well, also notice
I'm affecting you.
She still wanted you to spend money on it. She still wanted you to go to the theater and spend money on the tickets, but give your tickets away.
I wish there was a way to judge movies based on how much they were enjoyed, as opposed to how much money they made.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
That's what you look at for me. I never look at how I never care about how like well a movie's made. For me, a movie, it's all about how it left you feeling when you left the theater. Like I can like look at a movie, see all the objective flaws, and as long as I find the characters likable and the story concludes well enough, I can forgive a lot of flaws for that. I want to talk about about the lady here in this article where she says, I'm trying to picture her logic. Where are you going to find the poor people you're going to give the tickets to? Like, are they just going to be
Craigslist?
Are they just going to be outside of the theater waiting around? Is that what she's imagining?
It's just setting people up for the most awkward interaction ever.
It's like the story Tim would tell when he would go to
It's like, do you want my tickets? I'm going to stand outside the theater and wait for a murderer to come and kill you, and I'll save you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your white savior. Like, that's so... Just, like, are you insane?
They're insane.
Who would take that kindly?
I don't imagine that.
I'm picturing some spaghetti-armed Redditor sitting outside of a movie theater pretending to be a big, strong bodyguard, but they wouldn't stop anyone.
Stopping to take a soy face picture.
Like, anyone who actually would fall for this nonsense is not capable of being a human shield.
No, not at all. But I wonder if this is one of those things. The things get better in society as long as this type of propaganda, and what she did is absolutely propaganda. Like, as long as that exists, do things get better? Can we move past it?
Nothing can be cool and fun and uniting anymore. Look at like old videos covering the box office opening weekends for the old Star Wars movies and how diverse, like actually diverse, the lines waiting for that type of movie
Geek
were.
culture was always more diverse than just about every other culture to begin with.
And it's been the most unfairly maligned
for being
as as being exclusive.
Yeah.
To a certain type of person. That never was the case.
Nope. It was I mean, you hear the jokes about like, you know, oh, what's your favorite? Oh, name 3 of their.
I mean, okay, arguably maybe it was exclusive to men. But even then it's like that's just who it naturally attracted. Those are the people who naturally enjoyed that genre. And sure, there was a minority of female fans for certain films, but like that's just how things naturally parsed out.
Yeah.
There was no rule that you couldn't see or enjoy things because of your identity or your sexuality or your race.
Yeah. When I was younger, it seemed like boys were nerdy, girls were never really nerdy. You'd have a few girls that you might consider nerdy, but it seems like there's a lot more nerdy girls now. Yeah. I don't know why.
It's been kind of democratized.
Fake geek girls.
I love it, by the way.
We're going to talk about it later in Disney, that the marketing is going hard to push girls into these spaces that they naturally like. Society literally like evolution is telling them not to go here, but like late stage capitalism. It's a joke. But like these corporations are like, no, you're going to go in here because they're just looking for new demographics to cover. And then you have activists like Kathleen Kennedy making shirts that say the future is female and automatically dividing Star Wars down gender lines in like 2015. Like you just can't win. You can't win. I don't know if this is going to happen outside of these genres. Like nobody's going out to, okay, let's go back. They made Bros. Nobody was going outside the theater telling straight people to not go see Bros. They were trying to get straight people to go see the movie. They just did it badly. They just didn't know how to market it. Right,
but we're going to talk about that as well further.
But I'm just identity politics in general don't work.
Not for business. I don't think so. I don't. This push for like ESG, environmental social governance, is very strange because it's like identity politics trying to trump like voting with your dollar, which
is what you should be doing for everything.
As soon as the power goes out, you're just back to voting with your dollar again.
Yeah, unless a movie or TV show or a video game, whatever you have, features adult sexual themes, then I understand why that would exclude certain ages from watching it or playing it. But otherwise, the message around a product should never be, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Because people will listen. They will not go see your thing. Like the Velma reboot series.
Is that out yet?
That spin-off from HBO Max. I'm not sure if that's out yet. But like I wouldn't know anyway because they told me it wasn't for me. Nobody is going to watch it if you tell them not to watch it explicitly.
There's a weird desire, and we're getting now into the creators, where the creators want to tell you that something's not for you. That's not That's not the case here. Nobody working on Wakanda Forever is telling you to not go see it. It's just weird fans of Disney.
If they saw this, they'd have to condemn it because they're like, why are you actively trying to sabotage this thing that we're passionate about?
Yep. I still think this journalist just didn't want to go see the movie. And it's like, how can I get out of it and still look like the good guy? And this was his way to do so. Maybe.
And then the TikToker journalist or whatever she called herself. She called herself an activist, a social reform activist. She just wanted to get free tickets.
Yeah. She's mad that nobody offered her tickets to the movie, to the premiere.
Is that girl in the thumbnail?
Yeah. No. That's one of the stars from the movie. We're talking about the one from the video that we watched earlier.
That's that thing behind you I was looking at.
No, that's the lady who starred in the movie. Oh, yes, that's her. That's her. Different thumbnail, cool. Guys. So we'll see. Yeah, the glasses even real, or is that a filter?
Tell. Those are real.
They're real? Okay. From this, you couldn't tell.
Those are real.
It's...
Can't believe it's been so long since current year 2015, and there are still chicks on college campuses wearing glasses that look like that.
They look like helicopter landing pads on their face. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.